Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
Seemingly without warning last month, the former president of Community College of Philadelphia, Donald Guy Generals, was ousted by the school's board of trustees. In today's episode, we talked to Generals himself about what happened and about his tenure at the school. But one thing to note before you listen, right after we recorded this episode, Generals filed a lawsuit accusing the chair of the school's board of trustees with pressuring him to give financial contract to the board chair's allies, and then retaliating against Generals when he wouldn't. For its part, the board says it acted properly and that it was Generals who violated the terms of the contract. We don't get into that lawsuit in this conversation, but there's a whole lot more here to chew over. It's Monday, May 5th. I'm Trinae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Dr. Donald Guy Generals, introduce yourself to our listeners. What's your background?
I have been in higher education for nearly 40 years. That's not the totality of my life. I'm also a musician. I play the drums and have had, a fairly significant career in music. I've taught for many years. I've been an administrator for many years. And for the last 11 years, I was the president of Community College of Philadelphia. Born and raised in Paterson, New Jersey. And I think that's pretty much it. Married with one son living with me now. I have 3 older kids from a previous marriage.
Guy, you had been serving as the 6th president of Community College of Philadelphia, as you said, for 11 years. When were you told your contract wasn't going to be renewed?
I was told on December 19th, 2024, for the first time, that it was not going to be renewed. Totally shocking. I had no idea. My last year began in July. The final year of my contract began in July. And I was not told until December 19th that I would not be renewed.
Okay, so from December to April, because the news came out that you were being dismissed in April, was there a meeting about the vote that was going to happen, or was this a total surprise?
I knew eventually the vote for non-renewal would happen. But the administrative leave was the total surprise. I was expecting to be able to finish out the year, including graduation and our major fundraiser and all of the academic award ceremonies, and to be able to, in a dignified way, say, it's been a good run, thank you all, but I'm turning the page and moving somewhere else. Obviously, that did not happen.
Do you know maybe why this happened? Any indication?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I've not been given a reason till this point, and have not talked to any of the board members. And that's kind of where we stand now. So my purpose and my goal now is to focus on the positive, the things I've done. I think the particulars as it relates to my employment status are things that at this point are not necessarily things that I think are helpful for me to talk about in public.
Okay, so would you say that maybe was there like interpersonal problems with board members, or was this maybe a move of retaliation? I'd
prefer not to get into that. I think they did what they had to do. They had 13 votes. There were 13 people there, and so that's where it landed.
Did you have any communication with the board about challenges that you faced?
Challenges regarding my job, the career?
Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nothing out of the normal. I think what makes this particularly difficult to accept is that the college is booming. We have the highest enrollment in the state of Pennsylvania. We have the fastest graduation rate. We've got new programs. We continue to thrive with our Cato Scholarship. We just landed a $2.7 million project with the Navy pipeline project. We have career and workforce development programs out in West Philly in the brand new $30 million, 70,000 square foot facility. We have over $100 million in capital renovations and expansion. So, I've stated that I don't know that there's any objective reason why we are where we are today. So, that's kind of where it is.
You just listed some of your accomplishments at CCP. What else are you proud of during your tenure there?
I believe I've advanced the causes of social and economic justice. I think as a community college, that's our primary function, to provide opportunity and access for those who would otherwise not have those opportunities to move into the mainstream or the middle class of our society. I think the types of programs we have focused on those access points, those opportunity points, with a particular focus on Black and Brown students. I think we've done a lot to expand the scope of chances and pathways for students from Philadelphia schools. We've developed and continue to expand in our dual enrollment program. So we have students graduating college before they actually finish high school through our middle college program. We have 3,000 students in the Cato Scholarship Program. In higher ed, cost is prohibitive. But if you come to Community College of Philadelphia and you are a high school graduate, you can go your first 2 years for free and then move on to transfer to the best universities and colleges in the country. And we have some stellar examples of students who have moved on. I like to, readily brag about Hasim Hardiman, who was a student whose goal in life was to go to Temple and lived right next to Temple. And when he graduated high school, Temple didn't accept him. So he came to CCP. He thrived in our honors program, then transferred to Temple after graduating from CCP, and then became a Rhodes Scholar. So I think that's prototypical of what we do and what we're capable of doing in terms of providing opportunities. And there are hundreds of students just like that, hundreds of examples, just like Hasim. He happens to be, someone who's, the quintessential example of what community colleges do. So I think that's part of what I'm most proud of. I think we've expanded the impact of the college beyond the classroom walls, through experiential learning and through our partnerships with businesses and industries and community groups. We have ESL programs throughout the city. We have 4 or 5 of them throughout the city. We have business development programs throughout the city where we are developing and helping fledgling entrepreneurs develop their business and increase their revenue, increase their employees. And so I think we have approached this not just as a standalone classroom-based institution of higher ed, but an integral part of the life and experiences, social and economic development here in the city of Philadelphia. And I think we've done a pretty good job.
More with Dr. Generals when we come back.
ArtStar represents local studio artists and crafters through their retail shop in Old City and various bazaars and markets throughout the year. Their next event, the ArtStar Craft Bazaar, will be held at Cherry Street Pier on Mother's Day weekend, May 10th and May 11th, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on both days. Folks, this is the perfect place to buy those Mother's Day presents, maybe a little bit last minute. The show will feature 80-plus curated craft vendors selling a variety of handcrafted goods. There'll be makes and takes, food, drinks, and of course you get those amazing waterfront views. They'll also be giving out 75 event totes at 11 a.m. and again at 3 p.m. both of those days. The event is free to attend and open to everyone. Get all the details at artstarphilly.com. See you there.
Filler Club is a private city club in the heart of Center City, designed as a third space for the modern city dweller, equal parts professional, social, and cultural hub. Located across from 30th Street Station, there's a boutique hotel with 14 thoughtfully designed rooms, perfect for members, friends, and family. And membership gets you access to dining, events, and a full fitness suite with an indoor pool, climbing wall, and spa services. Fitler Club's work and innovation hub, ideal for entrepreneurs, remote workers, and teams of colleagues. And when you're thinking about work, there's everything from shared desks to private offices and boardrooms. Learn more about Fitler Club becoming your third space, where work, community, and leisure intersect. Get more details at fitlerclub.com/CityCast membership. Mother's Day is coming up, so to celebrate and honor her, gift her with something special, like an Aura digital picture frame. My mom lives in a different time zone, so when she comes to visit us in Philly, we take lots of pictures. I love the one where we're all squeezed on a couch watching Sunday Night Football. Aura Frames was named the best digital photo frame by Wirecutter, and it was featured in 495 gift guides last year. So the next time you need to call your mom, you can also send her a picture of your son at his lacrosse game right from your phone. Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. For a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver mat frame. That's auraframes.com. Promo code CityCast. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Guy, were there initiatives you were planning before the news of your dismissal?
Yes, so a couple of first of all, we launched the Mayor's Community College Municipal Employees Program. We launched that in the fall. This was our signature program, and in 6 months, we got it up and running. And right now, I've lost track a little bit because I haven't been there. I know we're close to 100 students in that program. And then more importantly, we were partnering with Cheney University. We were going to bring Cheney on the campus to create a direct pipeline of opportunities, specifically in teachers ed, because Philadelphia needs teachers. So that pipeline would go from the Philadelphia high schools through Community College of Philadelphia and then to Cheney to receive the teachers ed program. It's a place-based program, meaning that they would be on our campus. We identified a space for them to operate. It would be an integrated program, so some of the classes will be overlapping and integrated between the community college and the four-year institution. But eventually it would be a pipeline between community college and Cheney. It's a model that's out there that I've worked with before where we call it university centers, that there are colleges and universities right on the campus of two-year colleges. So that was the most exciting. We ginned up a bunch of support from our legislators. I know that the governor was informed of it, and there's a lot of excitement behind the idea of Cheney actually being located here in the city of Philadelphia, and with the focus on teachers ed licensing. So that I would say that was probably the newest initiative, and that literally just started in January.
Mm. I want to go back to the City College for Municipal Employment program. Can you explain a little bit what that is?
So it's a training program for folks that are working in city government right now who either want to move across. The city has thousands of jobs that need to be filled. And so everything from, cybersecurity, desktop management. I know that we're doing auto technology, right? Training. So they're training for people who are working in the city. They get trained by us. And then there's a pipeline that moves them into whatever job opportunities the city will have to offer. So it's a training program for the city's employees.
Why are these programs that you mentioned important to Philadelphians?
You need to have initiatives to change the environment that you're in. It doesn't just happen by happenstance. And I think having a clear view of how things can change and what things can impact change is an important part of being a leader. And I think that's what I did. You could rely on very traditional ways about education, which are about, the teacher in the classroom and, the sage on the stage kind of thing, or you can adopt a more progressive approach towards it, whereby the students' experiences in their neighborhoods, their interests in their neighborhood, and their purpose in life is directly connected to their education. I do think that they blend And that's the best way for learning, to help them understand the blending of experience, living in community, and education. These are Philadelphians who are currently working in some aspect of city government, and this gives them an opportunity to leverage that knowledge and that experience and that commitment for working with the city to expand their own aspirations as it relates to education and training. We do it across the board. We have internships. All of our health science programs work in hospitals as part of their internships or part of their clinical rotations and training. Our auto technology program, we have what's referred to as the Toyota T10 program, where students go to school half the week and they're working half the week. They're already hired by Toyota. So they're able to see the relationship between what they're learning and ultimately what they will be doing as it relates to their ambitions.
I'm just thinking as you were talking, CCP really touches so many of us, our young people, our adult learners. What's one of your favorite memories at CCP?
Every year, graduation is a favorite memory. I'd like to say when you're in the audience, you see thousands of students cross that stage. But when you're the president and you're shaking each one of their hands, every single person's expression and emotion is unique. And so while the audience sees, sort of the grandiose picture of what's going on, as the president shaking the hand of each one of those individuals, I think, it's tough to replicate that as it relates to any other thing that I've done. Some of these individuals took 5-6 years to get to that point. Some of them thought they would never be a college graduate. Some of them are returning citizens and never thought they would be on a stage accepting a degree. You can hear their parents and their family in the background screaming, and you understand how important it means to them. So I would say graduation is always the highlight. It's the most arduous because normally it's about close to 2,000 students. And, when you're standing up there shaking the hand of 2,000 people, it can become quite laborious. But every single smile, every single tears, it's just an amazing event. So there's that. I'm very proud of being able to lead the college through the pandemic. Many colleges folded, they laid off, they did draconian things so that they get through there.
And we're seeing that in the greater Philadelphia region. A lot of colleges have closed or merging with other institutions.
Just look at the environment, not CCP. We're standing strong as a beacon of hope and opportunity for this city. Go down the list: Rosemont, Cabrini, University of the Sciences, PAFA, Pierce merged. And, with the exception of Penn, even the big schools are struggling with enrollment. We're not. We're booming with enrollment. We're moving forward. We just settled a contract. So to go back to your question about, what was accomplished recently, in addition to the Cheney project, we did just settle a contract with our faculty and staff for 4 years. So that's, unless you've been involved in those negotiations, you might not understand how important it is to get that out the way and to smooth the waters as it relates to employee management relationship. But that to me was a huge accomplishment.
Guy, it sounds like you are still proud to have your connection to CCP, and they recently named a new interim president, the provost and vice president, Alicia Marshall. How will this shakeup affect students?
I think the foundation is solid. Dr. Marshall is a solid person. I hired her, very proud. I hired her and I promoted her. We work very well together, and I think she'll do a good job. It's an interim position. Ultimately, a new person will come in and they'll have their own vision and their own ideas. And, assuming they don't shy too far away from what the foundation is, I think the students will be okay.
What, if anything, during your tenure at CCP, would you have done differently?
I don't think there's anything I'm sorry about. Let me put it that way. There are things that could have been done differently. The first go round with the contract negotiations, that was 6 or 7 years ago. That probably could have been done differently.
How so?
Well, it lasted for almost 3 years. And I think, I probably, if I now step back and said, what could I have done differently? There probably were some things that I could have reconsidered as it relates to getting to an agreement. I don't want to get into what those things are because, we have a contract right now, but you always have to reflect on what you've done and how you've done it. So I don't know. I think if I had the opportunity to teach, I haven't taught at CCP. I would have done that differently, found time, carved out time for me to teach, to stay connected to the classroom. I think that's important.
What would you have taught?
So I have a degree in political science or education. I have a doctorate and a master's in education. I could have taught either of those. I taught for close to 25 years. It just got to the point, as you climb up the the ladder, it just gets to be too cumbersome to do both. But I probably would have carved out the time to teach if I had the opportunity to do it again.
What are you now planning to do? Any thoughts on what you want to do?
I think I still have enough in me to lead a large organization, maybe a 4-year college. I think there's a place for community college leaders in the big universities. It's very difficult to find a graduate program that focuses on community colleges. So I think somewhere along the line, starting up a program related to the uniqueness of community colleges is something that would, entice me.
Thank you so much for your time and for joining me on CityCast Philly.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.
That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. Rate the show, leave us a review, and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to sign up for our morning newsletter, Hey Philly, to learn more about what else Philly's talking about. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye.